Okay, there we go. Hi, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity to testify at today's hearing. My name is Allan Gandelman. I'm an organic vegetable and hemp farmer based in Cortland and president of the New York Cannabis Growers and Processors Association. We are a nonprofit advocacy organization that represents farmers, processors, retailers, and ancillary businesses who are actively involved in or looking to enter New York's cannabis market. Our association advocates for environmentally sustainable practices throughout the industry and believes that all communities in New York State should benefit from the cannabis industry. I'm here today to talk about the cannabis tax law, the THC potency tax that we believe will have a negative consequences for both businesses and consumers once dispensaries open later this year. This novel and complicated tax scheme has never been implemented in the country and would create a range of issues from the supply chain all the way to the consumer while driving retail prices far beyond those of our neighboring states. This will effectively act as a barrier to entry to all except some of the largest and most sophisticated operators. Levied at the wholesale level, the proposed potency tax would assign a per milligram THC tax rate that varies based on product category. And after being compounded by the 13% retail tax, the net effect of a cannabis tax could be up to 50% depending on that category. This is really compared to Massachusetts, which is 20%, and New Jersey, which are 33%. It's really hard to calculate cannabis tax because different parts of the plant mature at different times. And so the variation of THC could be 5% or more per plant or even larger across a batch. So establishing an exact milligram across that batch becomes almost arbitrary and inaccurate. And then further complicating that calculation is that analytical testing labs report a measure of uncertainty or a margin of error normally between 5 and 10% of the result. So with that variation, we potentially could be leaving $100 million of kind of miscalculated taxes on the table for every million pounds of cannabis sold. These miscalculations also raise significant public safety risks. We predict that in an attempt to avoid higher tax rates, people across the supply chain may intentionally report lower levels of THC than are actually present. We've seen this process happen in other states called lab shopping, where people look for labs that either underreport or overreport their THC levels. And furthermore, for customers who are worried about overconsuming THC, this could potentially be dangerous because all of a sudden you will have products out there that are reporting lower THC numbers to save on taxes that are actually in the product. So according to a recent study from Whitney Economics, a 1% decrease in the price has actually been associated with a 2% increase in sales, which would actually increase the tax revenue from the state. And we think that the straightforward solution here is to just remove the complicated THC-based tax and replace it with a percent-based tax that could be levied at wholesale or just at retail point of sale.
Thank you very much. So Allan, you did meet with my staff about this. You shared a fairly complex paper, and we are taking a look at it. And we have also shared it with the Office of Cannabis Management. It is true that specific tax proposal was created by Governor Cuomo's team when we were negotiating the bill between the Senate and the Assembly. So I am not personally wed to that tax, even though it was included in the bill with my name on it. So we appreciate your input, and people smarter than me are staring at it and trying to understand how we make sure we have a fair and equitable tax. But my goal was never to tax cannabis so high in New York State that people would stay in the illegal market. We want them in the legal market, buying the correct product with a reasonable tax. So I just wanted to tell you, no time for a full discussion tonight, but we are taking a look at what you submitted.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.